riding up and down 81 South, you've probably noticed the Crescent Middle School sign on this property. You may remember at the beginning of school, I talked about our vision to rebuild Star Ava Middle School as Crescent Middle School. And I announced that we had a new site to put the middle school on. I'm standing on site today, but I thought I'd give you some background information, historical information about where the name of Crescent High School came from, and then why we think it's appropriate to name the new middle school Crescent Middle School. Years ago, when Crescent High School was built, the community was bringing together the population of Star and Ava under one high school roof. So they had a competition among the students and the community of what to name the school. Well, the name that won was Crescent High School, and it was really based on the school being built on the Crescent Curve. And so now I'm standing in the lower part of the Crescent Curve, and now that we have the opportunity to look at rebuilding Star Ava Middle, it just seemed appropriate that since the new school was going to be right beside Crescent and also located on the Crescent Curve, that we rebrand it as Crescent Middle School. Another piece of information that I think plays an important part in that too is years ago when the middle school was first put together, of course it was just two elementary schools, Star Elementary and Ava Elementary. Well, about 20 years ago, we built Flat Rock Elementary, and the Flat Rock community is really not represented in the Star Ava name. And so with this opportunity to build a new school, to put it on the Crescent Curve, and to locate it right beside Crescent High School, it's now appropriate to just brand everything under one brand, Crescent Middle School. That way all our logos will match. It will just be one continuous progression from one school to another. So that's just a little bit about the history that I think is a fun fact, and also gives relevance to the meaning of the school name. Also want to update you on where we are in the planning stages for the school. I'd like to remind you of a couple things that have gone into getting us to where we are today. In the past year, we have been able to make 2 land purchases. And I want to say to the community, both of those land purchases are paid for. We don't owe any money on the land. One of the purchases came from some excess general fund money that we had in the 23-24 general fund. So we're able to pay cash for that. And then the money used to purchase this property in July came from penny sales tax money. So this land is free and clear. We own it with no debt associated with it. I'd also like to remind you that as we moved into this process, we were granted $5 million from the state to address building a school. It was given to us as seed money. And so with the land purchases coming together, the seed money, and then looking at some of the things that penny sales tax has done for us and some increased property values in our area, we feel like the time is appropriate that this is a doable project. And we will be bringing you more information about the logistics of the tax impact in November. Once the millage is set for the year, we'll give you the most up-to-date number. So I know a lot of people have questions about that, and I just say, hang on, that information is coming. But we want to give you the relevant, correct information one time, and we know we'll have the best numbers probably mid-November. In the meantime, we've been working hard to design our new school. We have a very good site layout. We have a very efficient plan. I'm excited that we're now starting to show it to our faculty and staff. We showed it to a group of community members at the end of September, and this coming weekend at Ava Depot Days, we will have some very nice renderings of the new school. So I encourage you and invite you that if you're at Depot Days, look for our booth. Some of us will be there to answer questions about the school, to talk about the plan, even to get your input into what you think about it. We also plan to be at the Star Fall Festival in November to give another opportunity for the community to see the vision firsthand, to see the images of what a contemporary, modern middle school looks like. And, you know, that's a question I also get is, why are we building a middle school and not a high school? And I think the first answer to that I'll give you is that what we've realized across the nation in schools is that we have neglected the middle school child. and I'm not saying Anderson 3, but I say schools in general. The middle school children have a different set of learning environment needs. They need a space that's built for them. And this is our opportunity to build a space that's conducive to how middle school children learn. Now, a couple of practical reasons why we're looking at building a middle school and not addressing the high school yet is cost. To build a new high school is about twice the cost on the taxpayers, and we're not ready for that yet, that implication. The other thing is, if you look at the site plan of the high school and the future middle school, we've spent a lot of time and money building extracurricular and in-curricular spaces around Crescent High School. FFA Arena, the baseball field, the track, the field house, the new football stadium. Those are sites that are not just used during the weeknights or weekends, but they're actually used all throughout the school day. And so they need to be close to children. Another thing that comes into play is a big part of the penny sales tax spending was to build our portion of the Anderson Institute of Technology. And we have students that spend half their day at AIT in a very modern contemporary building. And so when you think about what the day of a high school student looks like, high school students, especially juniors or seniors, are in and out of the building all day long. It may be dual enrollment, it may be AIT, it may be a college course, it may be dual credit, early release, late arrival. They're just lots of movement. With your middle school children, they're in a building all day long. And it's important that that building be bright, spacious, and really built for their needs. And so those are some of the things I would encourage you to think about if you're asking that question. Now, with that said, I'll say I do think the next part of a building program, once we get the middle school completed, would be to look at what we need to do at Crescent High School in the future, because we know there's some things there we need to adjust. It's just not the most pressing need at this moment. Taking care of our middle school students is the most pressing need in the district. And so if you get that question or you have that question, that's some of the rationale that's behind it. The other thing I would just say to you about this project is why now? Well, we think that we have a good package to offer. Like I say, the $5 million from the state, the general fund is at 25%, the sales tax is coming in good. There's lots of factors that make this now very manageable. This is not something that the district just started looking at a year or two ago. We've actually been talking about doing something for the middle school, with the middle school, for probably 10 or 15 years now. It's just now the things have fallen into place that we realistically think we can do that at a minimal impact to our taxpayers. And that's it's the right thing for our children, it's the right thing for our community, and I think it will be the right price for everyone. So I look forward to rolling that information out to you. So as I close today, just let me share the general timeline that you can expect things. We will be at Depot Days, and we will be at Starfall Festival. Of course, we will continuously put out information. We do have a committee that's forming of people that's interested in knowing more information and helping us communicate that information. I encourage you to be a part of that. Reach out to us if you would like to. We'll have a website with some information and just lots of ways to put out information to the community. As we move closer to a referendum time, we'll actually have some community meetings. So to give you kind of the timeline, at our November board meeting is when the board would officially approve a referendum. We have to do that 90 days in advance of the vote date. So in the November board meeting, our board would bring that as a motion to approve, and with a successful motion, which we count on, then we would have to take it to our county board that next week. Once that's approved, we will set up the election side of it, and then December, January, and February, we will be coming to fire departments, hopefully churches, really anyone in the community that would like to open up a space for us to share information. That's what we want to do, especially in January and February, is just answer your questions, tell you about the school, share the vision, basically tell you why we think this is what our children need in the future. And then the projected referendum date is actually March 10th. That would be the vote date. And with a successful outcome, we'd be ready to move dirt by May of 2026. Thus, we've been talking about Premier Progress Vision 2026. Our vision is that we're moving dirt to build a school, and that if we were moving dirt in 2026, we'll be moving in early, or at least by August of 2028, because we'll be talking about an 18-month to 2-year process. So thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please continue to look for updates. Please ask us questions, send us questions. Please take the opportunities to come speak to us or to come to any of the meetings, because we want to share the information with you about the need, how we think we can meet that need, and how it benefits everyone in our community. Pride, passion, purpose, Premier Progress, Vision 2026.